Welcome to the Imaginative Storm Writing Prompt of the Week session. I'm James Nave.
I'm Allegra Houston.
Every Saturday, we gather with a group of writers. People drift in from all over the place, and they spend 10 minutes of the hour together generating a piece of writing. So what we'd like to do is to share that 10-minute window with you. So we won't be here for an hour. We'll be here for a much shorter time, but you'll get a sense of what we do on Saturdays.
And do feel free to join us. Join our mailing list at imaginativestorm.com and you'll get a reminder every Saturday morning. So this is how we do it. We choose a prompt in advance. We put it up on the screen for 2 minutes and we ask everybody on the call to generate a list of words. Just whatever words pop into your mind as you look at this prompt, make a list. Just handwritten list.
And we encourage you to use a pen as well. Avoid the keyboard. It's we love the keyboards. Everybody uses them. This is something a little more analog. So pen and paper.
Yeah, pen and paper for the list and pen and paper also for the writing time when we get to that. So we will
share the image now and give you 2 minutes to write words or phrases down that pop into your mind.
The more random, the better. Don't worry about whether they logically connect to the image or not. They don't need to. So here it is.
So now you've generated a few words. Maybe you have 10, maybe 20. Who knows? Everybody has a different style around that. Regardless, on our Saturday calls, people do have words, and we go around the Zoom room and ask each person to give us one word or phrase. And that's a contribution to what is our community list. And so everybody ends up with their personal list and the community list. So Allegra has today's community list. Today's Saturday. We're recording this right after we did the hour-long session. So Allegra's going to read that list for you right now.
And that was the one I held up earlier. This is the community list, so it's a lot longer than my personal list. Here it is. Spirit flags. That's how it goes. Mad night horizon. Protected. Fenced field altar. Barbed flags. Sacred ground. Here lies. Field of devotion. Celebrating a life. A patch of tenderness. Grieving butterfly. Man or beast. Life echoes. Pasture bliss. The wind blows. Green agony. Beyond the wind. Breathing space. And some people heard grieving space. So you can write them both down if you like. How did I die? Slow death cinema. Life is good.
As you heard, each one of those words, images had a power all its own. You could use one and generate a piece of writing, or you can put a whole bunch together. You can improv the list. You can read it backwards, sideways, up, down, however you please. When you engage these words in lists like this, it cues your imagination to relax and participate in more expanded ways. That's we've discovered that over the last 5 years. So what we'd like to do now is move into the 10-minute timed writing.
And as you write, you put the two lists in front of you, your personal list and the community list. We like to think of it as kind of collective imagination. But don't feel like you have to use lots of the words or many of the words or even any of the words at all. Maybe something is already bubbling away in your imagination. Just go with that. Or if you don't know what to write, just let your eyes, fall over the lists or roam over the lists, and they'll fall on one item and start there. And maybe you'll head off and never look back at the lists again. Or maybe you'll sort of feel a little flagging, kind of, I wonder what else could come in here. And you'll look back and your eyes will roam over the lists, and you'll grab something and carry on. So I like to think of these words and phrases as like toys in a playpen. You toss a lot of toys into a playpen for a child if you can. And the child isn't necessarily expected to play with all of them. They just have a lot to choose from. And maybe they'll pick up two that seem to be completely unrelated and start making them talk to each other, or whatever the child wants to play. And that's kind of how we work. You these are all toys. You'll pick up that and think, oh, that's interesting. I'll follow that as I write. And then maybe you'll add another one in, or maybe you'll decide to, have a big tea party with all the toys in the playpen, and you'll use lots and lots of the words. So however you do it is absolutely correct, is the way to do it.
So on that note, we will now give you 10 minutes, which we will time, and take off, see what happens. Lean into it, surprise yourself, and enjoy. So you've created something, something you didn't have before, something that never existed. This happens every Saturday. And one thing we love to do after people write their words down on the page, we like to get those words off the page, free them a bit. And the way we do it is we ask people to read the work aloud. Go into Zoom rooms, everybody relaxes, folks read the work, they hear the voices. So what we would like to ask you to do now is to put us on pause and read your work aloud so you can hear your voice, participate in the development of this rough draft that you've just created.
So we hope you did do that. You did read your writing aloud. It's a fantastic way to develop your voice as a writer, your voice on the page, because when you read your work aloud, you just automatically push towards what you like best in your writing the next time you sit down to write. Before we go any further, I want to credit the image, as we always do. I actually took that little piece of video on a road on the south side of Taos, New Mexico, where I live. It's a descanso. And one of the things that I realized on the call is most people don't realize that that isn't actually a grave. Nobody's buried under that cross. It's a marker probably for where somebody was killed on the road, a bicyclist or a car crash. But the history of descansos, I think, is really lovely because they began in the old Hispanic Catholic times, hundreds of years ago. And when somebody died, they would carry the coffin from the house of the person to the cemetery on their shoulders, as pallbearers still do. But obviously, a coffin is heavy. And so they would need to rest. And the word descanso actually means rest. But they couldn't put a coffin down on unhallowed ground. So there would be a priest with this little procession. The priest would quickly bless the piece of ground and so that they could lay the coffin on the ground and have a little rest from carrying it. And then since this was now hallowed ground, having been blessed by the priest, they would put a cross there to show that. And in the time since, that has developed into a way for people to kind of honor their loved one who was killed in a particular place by making these descansos. And you see them all over the roadsides in northern New Mexico, which doesn't say much maybe for the driving skills of the population, but it does say a lot for the loving skills of the population, I think.
If you like what you wrote, and we're confident you probably surprised yourself a little bit because you're committed to it. You threw yourself into it. You're here. You're doing it. We have an opportunity for you to share this with our community. It's called the Circle Community, and it's a simple way of taking what you've written, posting it into this community. It works a little bit like Facebook without all the bells and whistles, which is a relief. And people can see it, interact with it, and you can get a sense of what we're up to. And if you really like what we do, you can always come to the Saturday calls. We'd love to have you show up out of some place in the world we haven't even heard of and pop on the screen, and we will greet you, and we'll be so glad to get to know you that way. It's a terrific community, and we're really proud of it. And the door's open. We'd like to have you be part of that community if you're so moved.
But the first step is to post what you wrote on the circle. So here's how you do it. Go to imaginativestorm.com and click on Community. You will see Imaginative Storm Circle. So you click on that, share your writing, no criticism, just appreciation. You can click on the image or on the button, and it will take you to the circle. You will have to sign in. If you haven't been there before, you will have to sign in with a username and a password. It's also free. And then click on Prompt of the Week. And under Prompt of the Week, you will see all of these prompts, almost 5 years worth. So you'll be able to work with any of those if you so choose. But I will click on today's. Here we have it. After I have finished this video via link here, join us on YouTube. You will see the image. You will see the word list. And then you will see what people wrote and what people commented on what people wrote. Sometimes people read what they wrote and upload the recording, as Stuart did here. And Regina gave hers a title. Not everybody does. And as you see, it's really very straightforward. You can like and reply to other people. And then if you would like to post what you wrote, you just click here in what are your thoughts, and you write, these are my thoughts, whatever you wrote to the prompt, and click post. And you're done.
So now you know how to join our circle. Like I said, our doors open. And if you go to imaginativestorm.com, you'll get a full view of all of the offerings we have. We have workshops, live workshops in person, on Zoom as well. We have a number of resources, audio books, not audio books, but audio courses. And we have some new books out. And Allegra and I have worked on our books quite a bit. So Allegra, I'll just turn it over to you, and you tell people what they could find.
So these are the two most recent books. Hold them up. They're published this month, June 17th, I think is the date. This is the revised, expanded version of Write What You Don't Know, which we first published nearly 4 years ago and has been used in writing workshops around the country, including at Iowa Writers Workshop. So it's, highly respected, highly acclaimed, and now expanded and revised. Creative Writing, the Imaginative Storm Method is more of an introductory book for creative writing. Maybe you don't necessarily have any aim to be a writer, but creative writing is it's an expression of your creativity. It's good for you. And writing is, of course, one of the cheapest forms of creativity that you can pick up. All you need is a pen and paper. You don't have to buy paints or canvases or basketry supplies or whatever, even glue if you were doing collage. So check them out. You can find out more about them on our website. And we hope that if you enjoy our method, if you enjoy writing with us, you will show up one day on a Saturday, join our mailing list. As I said, you'll get your invitation and the Zoom link, which you can also always find in the footer at imaginativestorm.com.
So thanks so much for tuning in. Lean in, say hello to the sun if you happen to see it in one of your days, and come back sometime soon and be with us. We appreciate it.
Goodbye.